Okay, since the last video segment, I've done a couple more washings to get to the point where I knew that I had washed all the lead out. Now it's been a little while that this water bath has been going, so the water's getting kind of low, which means that we want to make sure to refill this so that the water bath beaker doesn't go totally dry. Now it'll stop boiling for a little bit as we add some cool water, but it won't take long before it starts to boil again. Okay, so again, about halfway to 2/3 full with water. Okay, so I'm pretty close to having all the lead out of here. I'm going to do one more washing so that you can see what it looks like when all the lead is out. So again, a couple milliliters of water. Stir it up real well. Now I'm going to get that second test tube that I'm going to use for balancing ready, making sure that I have equal heights so it's the same weight. Put it into a hot water bath. I'm going to leave it there for about a minute. Now, one of the things that will happen is that people start to work at different paces. Some people work fast or slow. Maybe you'll mess up and have to start over again. And pretty soon, people are going to be all over the place at different points of the procedure. As we get close to finishing each day, it's important that you make sure to label any of your test tubes that you've saved precipitates or solutions. It's also important to make a note on your procedure sheet so you can see exactly where it is that you left off one day so you can come back the next day and continue working wherever you've left off. So maybe on a particular day, you're working on washing the lead out, and you finish with step 2. You could make a mark on there and write a note to yourself, maybe even the date, about what you've done that day. So you come back the next day and are ready to pick up where you've left off. Okay, so this has been in here for about a minute. Go ahead and bring that over to the centrifuge again. We've already got the second test tube in there to balance it. Turn it on. Okay. And this should be our final lead washing here. We know that we have lead, but it took us some time and several washings to wash all of it out before we can go on to other procedure steps. So I've got that test tube ready to pour the decantate into so that I can test with my potassium chromate. Pour that solution in. Now notice here, it'll still turn yellow. I mean, the potassium chromate is yellow, but as I add the drops, the solution is no longer cloudy. Let's get a good close look at that. Okay. It is yellow, but it's clear. And sometimes what I do to make sure it's completely washed out, make sure there's no precipitate in there, I may hold it up to the light to see if I can see any sunlight reflecting off any particles. And I don't see any precipitate left in there, so I have washed all of my lead out. And so maybe for the end of the day, I could wrap up by writing on here, done with step 2. So now there's still a precipitate in here, but I finished with step 2, and I could write on my paper that I've finished with step 2, so I could the next day begin with step 3. All right, that's it for now.